Welcome back to Jess and Mike's Pillow Talk podcast. I am Mike.
And I am Jess.
And today, just following on from our last podcast, if you remember, we sort of delved into our previous relationships and sort of our dating history, everything basically before Jess and Mike, really, from the start to here we are right now.
Yeah, and how we made it to like where we are now, and I think this story is quite important to.
Yeah, so this is if you remember from the last episode, we sort of touched on Jess's ex previous relationship before the one we're in now, and we said it was worth its own show. So today we're going to discuss that. So I've got some questions for you, and I just want to really get under the skin, under the sheets with this, and just we can explain it to the listeners, because I think people you
can say you've been in a bad relationship, but it's hard to explain it.
Of course it is. There's so much to explain. People only get a very short snippet of the full picture.
Yeah.
So I think today we're going to try and paint that full picture for the listeners, and hopefully they can understand what it is that you went through.
Yeah, and that I'm just not making it up. On TikTok, people want to say that, there's two sides to every story, and
which I think is so.
Yeah, this is my side.
So rude to say. So
yeah.
So let's. Are you ready?
I'm
ready to start?
Ready.
Are you strapped in?
Strapped in.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So where did you meet this person?
So I always think it's important. This bit's important because I feel like the way I met him was weird.
Yeah.
So I was friends with his friend, and I was sitting
Let's give these people names just so people can paint that picture in their head.
I was with his friend Ben. I was talking to his friend Ben on Facebook.
Okay.
And we were just in Facebook chat. So, back in the day, you used to sit on your computer and the chat was there. So I was sitting at home on my computer. Social media hadn't gone to our phones as well yet.
No.
I still had a BlackBerry.
I don't remember BlackBerries.
I don't think I even had a BlackBerry, actually. I can't even remember. But, yes, I'm sitting on chat, and Nick was with... I'm going to give him his name.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. Nick was with... was with him at the time, and Ben had gone to the toilet, and Nick had gone on the computer and said, "Hi, I'm Nick, this is my number, message me, don't tell Gary," and then obviously deleted the chat.
Say that again, because you used Gary's name.
It's really hard not to say Gary. Can I just use Gary? Okay then. So Ben had gone to the toilet.
Yeah.
And Nick had obviously jumped in his seat, knew he was talking to me, and given me his number and said, "Here's my number, message me," and then obviously jumped off and deleted that. Don't tell Ben. So he had then. I messaged him, like, why? I don't know. Obviously, I thought that was a great idea. Like, okay, I'll message him. So I'd messaged him, and even to all their messages, it was like, don't tell Ben.
Yeah.
Even though there was nothing really, it was just, he wanted it to be a secret. So that's pretty much how I met him.
Why do you... When he was saying to you, don't tell Ben, what went through your mind at that point?
I knew a little bit about him.
Yeah.
I knew he had money.
Yeah.
I knew he had a nice car.
Yeah.
Truthfully, that is what enticed me.
Yeah. But what about him saying, don't tell Ben? Did that not suggest anything to you? What did you think when he was saying, don't tell Ben? What did you think by that?
Nothing really. I don't really remember.
No.
I just think I was young and I just thought, okay, I won't tell him.
Easily led.
Easily led, yeah.
Yeah.
More thinking about, again, like the money and, oh, he's got a nice car. I don't care. I don't care about Ben. Like, what's...
Was there anything between you and Ben?
No.
No. So was it purely friendship?
Yeah, he might fancy me. But
yeah. Oh, I wouldn't.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, there was nothing.
Nothing there at all.
No.
Did Ben ever try anything before this point?
No.
No.
Like, he might have said that he fancied me, but I'm sure at that point he was with, like, had been out with one of my friends. So it was nothing really.
Yeah.
He was just always within our friendship group. So.
So I guess you've messaged him a few times. He's always saying don't tell Ben, and you now know a bit about him.
Yeah.
When did you first then meet him in public? Because this would have all been over message, I'm assuming. So
so then he said to me, like, do I want to go on a date?
Yeah.
So I said yeah. And we went to the O2.
Yeah.
And we went to Frank and Benny's. All the way.
All the way
to the O2.
For a microwave meal.
For a microwave. And it was so weird because I remember standing at the train station, and we was at that train station when we went to Punchy.
What, Wapping?
No, it wasn't Wapping, it was...
Mile End.
Mile End. Does that go to the O2?
Must do, I don't know.
I felt like it was that train station, it brought back memories. And I remember standing on the platform and putting my arms around, like he'd put his arms around me, and I put my arms around him, and like I didn't like it at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't like the feeling.
What was that feeling?
The ick.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Can you remember what he was wearing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bootcut jeans.
Fashionable.
And like this like light blue jumpery V-neck thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big fashion statement.
Yeah.
Shoes.
Some fake Gucci shoes.
Oh really? So you had the ick with the cuddling. Anything else happen from then? What happened at the station? How did you get? What was the conversation like? What was the journey like together?
Oh God, I can't remember any of that. I wouldn't remember any of that.
No. Can you remember the meal at all?
Nope.
No.
I remember he introduced me to an Irish coffee.
An Irish coffee?
Yeah.
It's got booze in it.
No. Was it an Irish coffee? It was just really creamy.
I don't know.
And like really sugary.
Oh really?
Yeah. I could not have one now. But yeah. I had one of them at Frankie and Benny's. That's what I remember. Yeah.
So did you go anywhere after Frankie and Benny's?
I think he just went home. He just took me home.
So you went all the way to the O2?
Yeah.
Just for Frankie and Benny's to then come home?
Yeah, and I sort of remember thinking, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't enjoyable. It was just very standard. Like, that day did not blow me away. Do you know what I mean? There was not one point where we thought, oh my God.
Yeah. So what happened after that date? He took you home?
He took me home, then literally rang me the next day and was like, do you want to come to the market?
The market?
Yeah.
Okay. Setting the bar higher in terms of dates, isn't he?
So he came and picked me up from my mum's house. Off we went to the market. And he brung a friend as well. He brung Neil.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it was me, Neil and Nick.
The three of you?
The three of us. Yeah.
Okay.
Neil lived with him at the time.
Okay.
Went to the market and went home.
Yeah. Get anything at the market? Did he get anything at the market?
I got a like a fake Ralph Lauren shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what happened after this date?
I think.
How were you feeling after this second date?
Just like unimpressed, really. Just like meh, like very. And then it was constant from that. Like it literally was like he had his own house, come around my house, I'd go around his house, and yeah, it would just be like it felt like he was forever like asking me to do stuff with him.
Like to go places.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of things was he asking you to do or where to go?
He would just ask me to go around his house or walk the dog or just general stuff really. Go around for a takeaway.
So how long was this going on for? So when did you officially become boyfriend, girlfriend?
I feel like we didn't really ever. There was never a point where he asked me to be his girlfriend, so I don't remember it.
And what was his behaviour like towards you during this time?
Fine, like nice. He obviously wanted to see me. Like he wanted to see me all the time. And then he was like, then he booked a trip to Paris.
Yeah.
And we went to Paris.
So how soon?
It was pleasant.
So how soon was the trip to Paris booked?
I'd say probably within the first month of the relationship.
So the first month he's booked the trip to Paris.
Yeah.
You've gone.
Yeah.
So what was that like, the trip to Paris?
I don't really remember it. There's so many things I don't remember. But it wasn't bad, because I'd remember if it was bad. So it was just standard again, like...
Yeah. I was going to say that. So you didn't feel any, again, no behavioural changes or anything like that at all during this time?
Same old, like how you had been with me beforehand.
Yeah.
There was like little things that got me, like I just felt like I couldn't be myself around him. There was something weird. There was something that stole my personality, but I couldn't quite put my hand on it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was just me at the time.
So when did you start feeling like that?
Very, very quickly. Like probably with it when I went to the market.
Oh really? So literally straight away?
Yeah, that I felt like sort of a bit on edge.
Yeah.
And so I started spending lots of time at his house.
Mm.
And I remember my mum was like, why don't you just move in?
Mm.
And I was like, I didn't really know. I didn't really know if I wanted to just move in. Like I was enjoying obviously going around his house.
How old were you at this point?
I was 18.
Yeah.
I might have been, 18. I was 18.
Mm.
Heading for 19.
Yeah.
And then like one day my mum just turned up with my bags.
Oh really? So
yeah.
You hadn't said to her, I'm going to move in?
No, and he hadn't asked me to move in either.
So your mum just turned up with your bags?
Yeah. And said, you might as well just live here.
How did that make you feel?
I cried for a whole week at night.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
He didn't even know I cried because we'd go to bed at different times.
So you'd go to bed at different times?
Mm-hmm.
So where were you crying, like?
In bed.
In bed?
And he was just downstairs.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did he know you were upset?
No, I couldn't talk to him really.
No, so you could feel like
No.
you could sort of talk to him.
Yeah.
How did he feel about you moving in?
He just took it, like it was fine.
Yeah.
But then he used it against me.
So when did he use it against you?
Pretty much like if we'd have a bad day, it was like, well, I didn't even ask you to move in.
Yeah.
So it was quite quickly turned against me.
How can you put a time frame on that when it was then turned against you for moving in?
Oh, very quickly, probably within a week.
Oh, so he was then saying, I didn't even want you here.
Yeah.
After a week.
Yeah.
So how would that?
And that's when it sort of started getting worse. I'd say, like the fact that like I would go to bed because I had a job to go to, so I was a dental nurse, and I had work to go to, so I needed to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I love my sleep. I wanted to go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
Like it always had been like that. So I'd say to him like, I want to go to bed, and he would just go, well, if you want to go to bed, then I'm not, and he'd just stay up.
Yeah.
And I'd go to bed on my own, and I just feel so lonely.
Yeah.
Like I just lay there like thinking, just cry. Just felt, just unwanted.
So during these periods then of feeling unwanted and lonely, did you not think, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. But my mum had already moved me in.
Did you not feel like you could talk to your mum about
No.
how you felt?
No. I felt like she didn't want me either. I felt really lost, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not mention anything to her?
No, because she just moved me out.
Yeah.
And that felt very unloved as well.
Why do you think she did that?
Because she had a new boyfriend and she wanted to be with him on her own.
Do you think that was the reason?
Yeah.
Had your sister moved out at that point?
Yeah.
So it was
I was the last one.
You were the last one at home.
Yeah.
And you were 18.
Yeah. Young.
She's packed your bags and said, "There you go, you're moving." Even without your decision or his decision.
Yeah.
She's made that decision for you both.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you talk to anybody?
No.
About
I had
how
no
you
one to
felt?
talk to.
Yeah.
Like no one at all.
So, what would you have done? What did you do at this point when this was?
So
when
like
you're feeling like this.
I remember like moments of I remember so it must be my 19th birthday, but before that my 19th birthday he was saying stuff like, oh, like what he'd get me for my birthday.
Can you remember what he was saying?
Like he was suggesting like he'd get me a Mercedes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, for my birthday. So I was like, oh, like, okay, exciting, whatever, like, I thought, oh, that'd be good, like. And it got to my birthday, he got me a Lady Gaga CD. And it didn't even wrap it up, just gave me the CD.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've gone from a Mercedes, slight downgrade, to a Lady Gaga album.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you feel?
I literally, I remember I went outside and sat behind my car and cried.
Did he know?
No.
What did he say?
Then he came back, when I came back in, he was just saying that I was selfish and just ungrateful. And
how long had you been together at this point?
I don't remember when I first, a couple of months.
Yeah.
It wasn't like major, but he'd taken me to Paris, do you know what I mean? He'd done all these lovely things for me beforehand, and then just suddenly he wasn't going to bed with me, and then he's just handed me a Lady Gaga CD. It just very unwanted.
Yeah, I mean, I get that you don't want to come across materialistic, but there's a bit of a jump if you're promised a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Or even if it's toyed about with the idea that, do you know what, for your birthday I'll probably buy you a new car. If you do want a new car, how about Mercedes?
Yeah.
To, here's an unwrapped album.
Yeah.
You're selfish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very weird. Very, very strange. And then he had, that was when I started seeing changes in him, like, and I had, I think, gone to the gym, come home, and he was like laying on the sofa, literally looking like he was dying.
Right.
And I felt like he felt that I might go, I might leave.
Okay.
So I feel like this was a ploy for me to feel sorry for him.
So why do you feel like he thought you might leave?
Because I was still going out and stuff with my friends. I was still had a little bit of a life.
So, did any of your friends know what was going on?
No, I didn't tell anyone.
You didn't tell anyone. So what did they think life was like for you at home?
Just like I met this guy, and he had a house and a nice car, and he's taking me to Paris, and all them things were like good. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like, oh, by the way, this happened.
Yeah.
Like I was sort of, I suppose, just embarrassed a little bit.
Yeah.
That it weren't what he'd made it out to be at the beginning.
So you felt embarrassed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you felt embarrassed. So how often were you going out?
Probably still once a week.
Oh, quite regularly then?
Yeah, because I'm still 19.
Yeah.
So I still wanted to go out with my friends.
How did he feel about you going out?
Yeah, so it sort of started to get bad. So he wanted to go out with me.
As in join your group and go with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went to talk.
Yeah.
And I was in there, and you know, at that age you know everyone in there, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm standing there with like my friends and him, and I think he brung Neil, and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, like who's here? I want to know who's here. I see whose faces are here. He was like, why are you looking at everyone? Why are you looking at all the boys? And then he literally left, and I had to run out after him. He got in a cab and left me outside Talk.
So he got in a cab and left you?
Yeah, and I lived at his.
Yeah. So what did you do at this point?
Rung him, crying.
And
just felt helpless.
And what happened? So you rung him. Does he answer?
I actually don't remember what I done.
No. Did you remember going back to his?
I don't remember.
No.
I must have.
Yeah.
Because I never went back home.
Yeah.
Because I was embarrassed. Again, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
What I'm meant to do.
Yeah. What are you meant to do, I guess?
Yeah.
Could you not talk to anyone at this point about any of this?
No, I just felt like I couldn't talk to anyone.
Did you try to talk to anybody?
No.
No.
So there's always this like happy-go-lucky girl who just done as she wanted, and it was just like suddenly I was just being weak.
Yeah.
And it was I just didn't want anyone to know that person because it wasn't me.
I guess at this point, and when things like this are happening, were you ever thinking about leaving?
Yeah.
Did you have an idea of how you might leave?
Yeah.
And what was that idea?
So, I was still working at the dentist. So, I went to work and I told him I didn't want to be with him anymore.
Yeah.
This was pretty much after the talk, when he left me outside Talk. And I said to my practice manager, I told her, I said, I need to leave early because... Actually, so, yeah, I told him I didn't want to be with him. And then he said to me, if you leave me, I'll kill you.
Where was you at this point?
At work.
So you was at work?
Yeah.
You've rung him?
Yeah.
And said you didn't want to be with him?
Yeah. And he said, if you leave me, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And...
How did you feel when he said that?
Scared. Terrified.
Yeah.
Literally, I did believe that he would kill me. I just thought, what the fuck? Like, no one's ever been like this before. Like, he'd already left me at Talk.
Yeah.
Then he's threatening me that he said if I leave him, that he'll kill me. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And I'd heard stories about him as well. Like, heard stories that he'd... Like, what we've not discussed is that he was a drug dealer and he was he'd say that he had bad people around him.
Yeah.
Like he told me a story that him and his friend chopped someone's fingers off. So
Yeah.
in all the times that I was with him, he's relaying me stories of scariness.
Yeah.
Of like, I know gang people, and I'd met a few of these people as well, and they did look pretty rough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm scared.
So once he's told you, if you leave, he will kill you.
Yeah.
What did you do then?
I said to my boss, I said, like, I've done with him, I need to leave early because he said he's going to wait outside work for me.
Mm.
I don't remember what happened after that.
No?
No, I don't remember. I wouldn't have gone home. Again, I think that he would have convinced me throughout that day just to talk to him.
Mm.
I'm like, just let me talk to you. And I would have gone back because I just felt like I couldn't tell Mum.
Mm. So after this then,
Yeah.
I'm assuming then you've decided to stay.
Yeah, I decided to stay.
So how were things
I
after
suppose I thought the
this?
easier option was to stay.
Easier.
If someone's going to say they're going to kill you, your easiest option is to go, okay, I'm just going to stay because there's no one else to help me.
So, how was things like after this?
So after this, he was like promising me the world again, like, oh, like, let's move in together. I had 20 grand from my nan.
Yeah.
And he was like we'll use that. We'll get a mortgage.
Yeah.
So we'd actually put an offer in on a house. We went and looked at a house, and we put an offer in on a house, but it just never went through. It never went through. But the night before, we was going to show the house to my. Was going to show the house to my mum. So we'd looked at the house. We'd done a second viewing and was going to show my mum. And the night before that, it was like a Saturday, and he had gone out clubbing, and I decided, like, I don't want to go out, so I'm just going to stay on my own at his house.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so off he went on a night out. So it got to, like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was so late. Like, when he went out, there was just zero respect for time or that I was at home. So he's come in and he's so drunk. I wouldn't be surprised if he had done drugs. But he was so drunk, and he'd gone upstairs, and his friend had gone upstairs and gone to bed or whatever. So he's come in the bedroom and he's just acting like weird, like so weird with me. And I said to him, right, you go to sleep in here and I'm going to go in the spare room. So I went in the spare room next door, and he has then just started like smashing around the bedroom.
Right.
And I was like...
Smashing what?
I don't know, I wouldn't go in there because it's scary. He was just like punching walls and kicking. I think because I'd moved into the other room, like, so he was angry with me. And then I got up and I'd gone downstairs, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to go downstairs. And Neil, like, his friend, was standing at the door. So, like, I'd said, like, I'd gone out and I'd sat with Neil and I said, like, what's happened? Like, is he alright? And literally at that point, he came full pelt running down the stairs, like, grabbed me by my hair, pulled me backwards through the lounge, and, like, was just literally punching me. Like, he was, like, hitting me with his elbows, like, and obviously I was screaming. He gave me a fat lip, and then Neil was just standing there watching this.
Just standing there watching this?
Yeah, his friend was just there watching.
He didn't try and jump in and stop?
Didn't try and stop him.
Did he say anything?
No. Absolutely nothing.
Did he get to say anything before Nick come down the stairs?
No, nothing really. Nothing much. And literally Nick was just accusing me of fancying Neil. That was his reason for doing that to me.
Jesus. Right.
So then Nick then decided to go into the kitchen and get a plate and smash it on his head and make me there. So then the tables were turned, so then I ended up feeling sorry for him.
Right, so how did that work? So he smashed a plate on his head to make you feel sorry for him?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, like, so he's laying on the floor, like, literally like he'd been knocked out, and I'm just then worrying about that situation.
Right.
Like, he's sort of going, oh, like, what am I doing? Like, what have I just done? It was a very feel sorry for me situation.
Yeah. But, so, how did you feel when he did that?
What, to himself?
Yeah.
Just sorry for him.
How are you feeling, though? Because
I suppose it left, like, that situation, it's like throwing off, like, what's just happened to you, because then you're completely worrying about something else.
Yeah.
He's bleeding.
But were you bleeding at this point?
It was so quick, and I was just in shock.
Yeah.
Like, no one had ever hit me. Like, no one had ever hit me.
What was Neil doing at this point?
Nothing.
Where was
Still
Neil?
smoking at the front door, I think.
Still smoking at the front door?
Yeah.
And when Nick was then laying on the floor, did he not come to Nick's aid, or...?
No, just literally just left.
Did he still stay that night?
O'Neill. He lived there.
Oh, he lived there as well.
Yeah.
So how did this then die down?
So
because he's on the floor now. With smashing a plate on his head.
I think it ended up like it was so late, and it was like we just went to bed, and I remember just crying in bed, and he was like, "I'm so sorry. Like I must have been drugged. Like someone must have spiked my drink. I've never acted like this." So like that's his whole reason. Like it was like he, oh my god, like I've never acted like this. This is so out of the blue for me. Like I must have been drugged.
Yeah.
Even to the extent where I'd gone to work the next day and he had said that he went to the doctors and they had drug tested him and he had been spiked.
Did he ever show
proof? Which is quite laughable now.
Did he ever show proof of this?
No.
No?
No.
No,
I didn't go to work the next day. I was meeting my mum.
Right.
Wasn't I? So then he had said to me, "You have to lie to your mum." Because I had a fat lip, I had a black eye.
Right.
So I had to lie to my mum. He was like, "You need to lie to your mum, otherwise we're never going to be able to live together."
What did you say?
I said that I went to talk and I got caught up in a fight. Like in the middle of someone having a punch up and I ended up getting punched in the eye.
And you were happy to do that? Happy to just take the rap for that, like that?
I didn't know what else to do.
What did your mum say?
She just believed me.
How did you feel going on the way to meet your mum with your face looking like it did? What did your mum first say when you saw her?
Nothing. I think I just told her straight away. Like.
But there must have been a point where she saw you.
Yeah.
Did she say, "Oh my god, what's happened," or?
No. Just again, I just felt so uncared about.
Yeah. So you've told her that you've got caught up in a fight, and she's believed it, I guess.
I think she was so like wrapped up in her relationship at that point that, yeah, there was not really much care.
How did you feel telling your mum that?
Worried, like I suppose, because I felt like she wouldn't believe me.
Yeah, but she did.
But she did, yeah.
So how did you feel after that? Do you remember?
No, just carried on, I suppose.
Yeah. So you'd met your mum, and obviously after. How were things after this moment in time?
I sort of believed that he wouldn't do it again because he'd been spiked, and I actually genuinely believed him.
You believed?
Yeah,
I
generally believed that because no one had ever hit me before.
Yeah.
No one had ever acted in that way with me. So
yeah.
all I knew was a good, kind boyfriend who I had before. So maybe that must have been that. People aren't like that. Like the only people I've met are nice. Why would someone do that to me?
So how was the relationship then between you two after this point?
Just back to normal.
Back to normal.
Yeah.
Was he treating you? Was he taking you out still? How are things at home?
Yeah, so we'd just do normal stuff, and then after that really, he would keep saying to me like, "Oh, quit your job, like quit your job."
Yeah.
And I was like, what will I do? And he was like, "Oh, we can get a shop."
So, just to, because I think it's a little bit of a loose end. So the house situation.
Oh yeah, that just fell through.
So what did you do from that point?
We just stayed where we were.
To stay where you were.
Yeah, but the house fell through, and then that was the end of that. Really.
Okay, so he's saying about leave your job, and you'll get a shop.
Yeah, we'll get a sunbed shop together. So I done beauty. I studied sunbeds because that was at that point. Like, so I knew that I suppose that business.
You knew how to run it. You had some experience or some knowledge to how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so from that point then, or him telling you that,
I quit my job as a dental nurse.
How quickly did you quit your job after him telling you that?
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it in a week.
So,
and he said to me like, "Oh, I'll just give you money. Like, you don't need a job. I'll pay for you to do nothing."
Did you know from when you met him to this point now that he was a drug dealer?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that make you feel?
He sort of low-key played it down, so it was like, oh, it's only steroids, like they're only class C. I didn't know much about it, I just knew that it wasn't cocaine or ecstasy or anything like that. And oh, it's steroids. Like, even when I tell people now, oh, he sold steroids, they're like, oh, steroids. Like, it is very, okay, steroids.
Yeah, okay. Did you ever feel safe?
No, he'd like constantly look out the window and like, it was scary. Like, just life was scary with him. Did you
know much about his business?
Not too much. No.
Did he ever talk about it at all with you? Or?
Yeah, but I think he would like, now I look back at it, it was very, he made it seem like he was like a high class drug dealer. Like, Jay knows all these people, he knows the Essex boys, like, you know, it was, I never met any of these people, but yeah, he knew them apparently.
Watched them on film and then...
Yeah, I think it was all a bit of fantasy in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like now, looking back, like all the stories he told me was very fantasy.
Okay. So you've left your job and you have got a sunbed shop together.
Yeah.
How was that going? How did that go?
Dreadful.
How long into the relationship was this before you got the shop?
Oh, it was very, very early. Like, when he spoke about getting a sunbed shop, it was like I'll get a sunbed shop, and this sunbed shop had like a lower floor. So in his eyes, it was like, I want to get the drugs, get the steroids out of home, and let that be underneath.
Yeah.
And
so how long did it take to get the shop from once you said
not very long.
No?
No, it was quite quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he was just paying me money. So
yeah, how long was this into the relationship? So,
oh, okay. So it was probably about... This all happened so quickly. Like, all this stuff I've said probably happened within the first, like, 3 months.
Within 3 months?
Yes, all this happened in 3 months.
Wow, okay. Yeah. So really quick.
Yeah.
So he's attacked you.
Yeah.
He's...
We'd been on, like, this whirlwind journey of trauma.
Yeah.
To be honest, in for, like, 4 months. Been Paris, been treated like up here, to then being treated down here, to then quitting my job, to then
opening up a shop,
and not only had I lost my independence at this point, because I'd quit getting my own money, and even when I went to the shop, he said that it would be mine, but he still just paid me.
So where did the money go then? Into his bank?
Yeah. And I just got a wage.
Can you remember what that wage was? Your allowance?
Oh my god, I think my allowance was £100 a week.
Really? What about... And how did you manage on £100? So how was that for you?
Don't remember.
Yeah. Did you ever need more?
I never let myself need more.
No?
No, I was too scared to ask for more.
Yeah.
And you live to your means, don't you? So...
Yeah. And I guess how was the shop life? How was that, running that?
I'll just get left in there all day, and luckily I employed a girl called Natasha, and I could actually talk to her.
Yeah.
So I spoke to her, I would speak to her, and then I did manage to talk to someone. So an old person from literally when I was at school, 16, came back and spoke to me. His name was Graham. And he'd worked in Phones for You, and I'd seen him around for a long time, and he'd reached out to me and messaged me, but I don't know if it was because he'd heard that I was with Nick, and he would come and secretly meet me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where would he meet you?
At the bakery, opposite.
Yeah.
And he'd say, please, like, go, like, leave.
And what did you say?
I can't. Like, I literally said he can't. He literally tried to save me.
Yeah.
And I said no.
Did he? I guess how did he try and save you? Did he offer any support or anything like that?
Yeah, like he was just say like he was just did not want me to be in that relationship.
Yeah.
And I tell him I was unhappy as well.
Yeah. How often were you meeting him? How long for?
Wasn't very long because I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared. Like, I had this terror in me that he'd find out and that he'd he'd kill me or do something. Like, I literally had this. It was like I had a devil like behind my shoulder everywhere I went. Like, literally, he'd say to me like, "I know everything you're doing," and I just felt like he was there watching me all the time.
Did he ever appear randomly?
No.
Did he ever come to the shop randomly and see you?
Yeah, he would come to the shop randomly. So I was very like aware of what I was doing.
Yeah.
So maybe I wasn't ever doing anything, but
when he came to the shop, what was he like?
Just come in, act like the boss, and sort of go, really.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time I'd gone out with Natasha and we'd gone to Icon. We'd just gone on a night out. And I don't really remember much about the night or anything, but I do remember that we was in work the next week and Natasha had put on her front picture on her phone a picture of me and some random boy and her.
Yeah.
And he'd come in, Nick had come in and she'd tapped her phone and he'd seen the picture and he fucking flipped. Literally flipped.
What did he do?
He was screaming, shouting at me, and I said to Natasha, I'm going to have to let, he stormed out.
So was Natasha there when he was screaming at you?
Yeah. Yeah, like I cheated on him, like, bizarre. It was like the worst thing in the world has just happened, like, and I just felt like my heart sunk. I was just like, ugh.
Did she say anything about it? What was her...
Oh, she felt so bad. She was like, I'm so sorry, like, why did I do that? I should never have done that, like...
So what was her opinion of him?
Everyone hated him.
Yeah.
Everyone who worked in the shop hated him. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they say much about him?
No, I just didn't really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many people worked at the shop?
A new person every week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you don't want to stay. No one wanted to work for him.
How much were they paid? Do you remember?
Oh, like, not much at all. Like, Natasha just had a baby, so she was very young. She was younger than me. Maybe a year younger than me, and she just had a baby. So she was like, everyone who sort of worked there was vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember like driving home, like ringing him, and he's saying to me, "Don't worry, I've like rung my ex, and my ex, I still talk to my ex, and like all this stuff, like just and then I'm crying and begging, like literally like I'd cheated on him, like I was like about to beg him, like to forgive me for nothing."
Can you remember talking about this picture? What was your excuse for the picture? Who was that in the picture? What did you say?
I can't remember. I won't remember.
So this picture's happened. How did that get resolved?
I think just with me begging.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will never happen again.
So what happened after that episode?
So, when I was in the shop, like Natasha had a baby. And then after that, it was very much like, oh, I want a baby. Like, he wanted a baby.
Yeah.
He wanted to get me to get pregnant. I want to get pregnant. Like, I want a baby. And literally within a month, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. So it sounds like whatever he says goes.
Yeah. And I thought, like, out of all these things, I thought, oh, like, getting the shot, that will maybe help our relationship. And, oh, like, having a baby, maybe that will help our relationship. And there was all these things that I was thinking, like I suppose it was like, oh, you were so nice at the beginning, I was chasing that. It's like, why have I not got this nice person anymore? What am I doing wrong to not have this nice person? Like, and then he'd sort of say things to me like, I've never argued with someone this much. Like, you make me angry. Yeah. Like, it was just a blaming, like, me, and I just thought, oh, it must be me.
So I get you just said then you thought it must be you. Did you ever think about that and did you ever think about what you were doing and if there was anything that you felt that you did do that could have contributed to that?
Yeah, I suppose I was just like moody. because I was just always unhappy.
Yeah.
But then I felt like that's maybe why he doesn't like me, because I'm moody.
Yeah. So did you ever try and change that?
Tried, but I was just miserable. So how can you be happy when you're not happy?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I just wondered if you felt like in yourself, okay, maybe I'm moody, maybe I need to try this or something.
Yeah, no, I never had that mentality like I have now.
Yeah.
It was just, I was just there, stuck.
Yeah. So, talk me through you being pregnant then. How was that how soon from, I guess, trying, you said a month, but how was that through trying to get pregnant, and then when you were pregnant, how did that go down when you told him you were pregnant?
Yes, I got pregnant really quickly, and within a month of trying, and when I told him, he was just like over the moon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like really happy?
Really happy, yeah.
Did he say anything? Did he do anything?
Just like, would go like get clothes, get Arsenal clothes, and like, oh my god, I have a baby. Felt like good, and I suppose that's what he sort of again then he sort of like felt like he loved me again for a bit.
Yeah.
For a little bit, maybe not.
So how was that then through, say, like the beginning? So obviously the first trimester you can be quite unwell.
Yeah, so I was very sick.
And how was he with you being unwell?
Just sort of leave me to it, to be honest. And I was sort of so used to being left.
Yeah.
At that point, I sort of got used to the fact that I was lonely, so I sort of would just be sick and go to work, just carry on going into work, and yeah.
Did he ever offer any support or try to help you in any way?
No, just left me to it really.
Did you ever ask for support or help?
No.
No?
No, he just wasn't an approachable type to ask for help.
Yeah.
Just got on with it.
So what kind of things were you doing that you felt, or you look back on and think you should have probably helped with that? Was there anything that you did?
That I would have?
Yeah, so I guess, was there anything that you had done when you were pregnant during those, like, say, first few months, whatever, that if you look back on now, you would have expected someone else to help you with, or it to be slightly different?
Well, everything really. Like, you just expect someone to always be there for you when you're being sick, and say, no, like, you don't have to go into work, I'll do that shift for you, or I was really sick.
Yeah. What was he doing when you're working at the shop?
Yeah.
What was he doing during the day?
Nothing.
Where was he during the day?
At home.
At home?
Yeah.
So you're unwell and you're going into work?
Yeah.
And
to get paid, like to literally get £100 a week as well, remember?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't even, he was running the job.
Yeah. And he would just be at home?
Yeah. Obviously he'd go and do the odd steroid deal or whatever he'd done.
Yeah.
But yeah, or he'd go to the gym, he'd spend a lot of time in the gym.
Yeah. That's it?
That was it, yeah. But he was really busy. He was a really busy man.
Okay. So how was the rest of the pregnancy? How did that go? How was he treating you during the pregnancy?
So when I was pregnant, he would just like carry on going out, clubbing. Yeah. As much as he would have done when we first met.
Yeah.
So I remember he went...
And how often was that?
Every week.
Every week?
Every week, yeah.
Once, twice a week?
Probably once a week.
Yeah.
Could have been twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just carried on going out and just... Yeah, I'd just be in. Because I couldn't go out, I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So he would, yeah, and then he even went to Vegas.
When did he go to Vegas?
He went to Vegas when I was probably about 7 months pregnant.
So how did that come about?
He was going on a stag do. So he went on a stag do to Vegas.
So how... so at 7 months pregnant, he went to Vegas?
Yeah.
But how much notice did you have for him going to Vegas at the seven month part?
A couple of months, I'd say.
Yeah, so you knew about it for a few months?
Yeah.
And how did he tell you that...
I didn't have an option, like, can I go to Vegas? It was, I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah.
There was no ifs or buts, it was he was going to Vegas.
How long was he in Vegas for?
Ooh, he must have been a week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who was he with? Do you know?
Just like a group of friends that he had met before me.
Yeah. Did you know any of those friends?
Yes. So you know the girl that had on her eyebrows, Kelly.
Yeah.
Her partner.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I had met that group of friends.
So what was your views of them?
Wild, like just
Yeah.
gym goers, like not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your viewpoint in your head with the Vegas trip? How did you feel about this Vegas trip?
I think I probably cried the whole time I was there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you know much about the trip?
Nothing.
No?
Nothing at all.
When you got... How was it?
The only thing I knew about the trip was he got a tattoo on my name on his side.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he must have been guilty.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
How did... when did you know of the tattoo? When he got back, or did he tell you while he was there?
He told me he was getting it when he was there.
Yeah. Did you have much contact with him while he was there?
No, because he'd say that Vegas time's really different.
Mm.
So I didn't really have much contact with him because there wasn't much of a window.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
So when did
I think I remember calling him and other people had answered his phone. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how often did you speak to him during this week? And you're 7 months pregnant?
I'm 7 months pregnant, yeah. Not very much.
No?
No.
How did you feel?
Just cried. Just felt lonely again.
Yeah.
Just felt like on my own and pregnant and just felt, lonely.
Yeah. So when did he get back, and how was that when he got back? How did he get back?
When he got back, we had a massive argument because of he'd been not contacted me and I was angry at him. And I remember that was the second time that he had decided to hit me.
This was the second point. The second
so I remember he was strangling me I was pregnant as well, and he was strangling me on the bed.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're 7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's strangling you on the bed.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And how long for?
I can't remember.
And why was he doing that?
Just 'cause I was angry at him, and he smashed my phone and.
So what led to that argument?
Just me being annoyed at him that he hadn't contacted me, or that it was just I'd just been left pregnant and helpless.
Which I can understand why you would be angry.
Yeah.
So how did that go down? So did he get a lift to home then?
I guess so, yeah.
From the airport, and he's walked in the door, and did you say anything to him, and then it started an argument, or?
I just don't remember how that argument. I literally only remember the moment of being strangled.
Yeah.
I don't remember the whys or hows or.
So. How did that resolve itself?
I just got over it. It was it sort of started to become normal.
Yeah. Can you remember how you felt being strangled, 7 months pregnant?
No, I don't remember how I felt.
Did he ever feel any remorse, do you know, or apologise?
Yeah, again, he'd always so every time he would do something to me, it ended up him doing something to himself. So at that point, he went and got a knife and was I might as well just kill myself.
Right.
So he's sitting on the bed going, he might as well kill himself.
Yeah.
So it's deflects. And every single time that he done something to me, we was in a deflection of him doing something to himself that deflected the whole situation, and then me ended up caring about him and don't kill yourself. And it's the whole me on him situation.
Yeah.
And then that's how it sort of resolved itself.
Yeah.
Or makeup sex. Let's have makeup sex.
And then I guess would you then?
No.
No. How did he? How would he feel with that? You telling him no?
I just would say no.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it. I think we done it once and it was horrible.
Yeah.
And I think after that I always said no.
Yeah. So then after this, you're 7 months pregnant. This has all happened. You stopped him from killing himself because you're such a good person. Yeah. What happened after this then? So you've now got this 2 month window, I guess, from that moment to giving birth.
Yeah.
So What happened? Anything happened during those 2 months? What happened during then?
I remember he chased me around the house with a gun, but I don't remember the. I think it was just, again, it was him going out and not coming home. Like, there was a time that he went out and didn't come home until like 5 in the morning, and it was just me getting so angry with him, like just feeling so disrespected. And I still had a voice. I still would get angry.
Yeah.
So I'd still be annoyed at him, and yeah, then he came home and I was literally just hiding when he was saying he was gonna kill me.
Yeah. So he had a gun.
Yeah.
Where did he keep this gun?
I don't remember. This house had a safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it was like a killable gun. It was some kind of gun. I don't know what it was. Even if it was a pellet gun.
I think even the threat of a gun is still...
Yeah.
No,
I'm pregnant as well, which I mean, like, scary.
So he's chasing you around. Talk me through that, because that's... You can't just leave it at that sentence, oh, chase around the gun with a gun.
But again, it just felt so normal.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like all these things ended up just feeling normal.
Yeah. I asked, did you ever sort of think about how you would try and get out?
Not at that point, I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I'm a very proud person.
Yeah.
And once I was pregnant, I just didn't want to be, and I knew that I was the first person, like, pretty much in my school year to be pregnant.
Yeah. And
I just did not want to be a failure.
Yeah.
And I felt like that is failing if I am not with the dad of the child.
Yeah.
And my pride made me stay.
Did your mum know any of this?
No one knew anything. I didn't tell anyone, not a soul.
Not a soul?
No.
So what was your mum's view of your relationship at 8 months in?
It was fine. It was going hunky-dory.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did she say much about it? Did she...
No. Nothing.
How was she feeling about the pregnancy?
No. Nothing. Just nothing.
Was she excited? Was she happy for you?
I don't think I really even saw her too much.
No?
No. I don't think I was seeing anyone. Really.
No?
No.
How often were you seeing friends?
I wasn't seeing anyone by that point.
No? How long had you not been seeing friends for, do you think?
Pretty much when I got the shop. So probably 4 months into the relationship.
Yeah.
I had he'd managed to sort of like break up those relationships.
And how would he have done that?
Just by being horrible to my friends.
To them?
Yeah.
To their face kind of thing?
Yeah, he'd call them fat, slags. Why do you want that slag?
To them?
Yeah. He called Kim fat to her, like, on the phone.
When was this?
Probably like a month into our relationship.
Yeah.
I'd gone out on a night out with her and he had grabbed my phone, he was on loudspeaker and he'd called, "You with that fat slag."
Oh really?
Yeah.
How did Kim take that?
She cried.
Did she say anything?
He just upset everyone.
Yeah.
He just upset the friendship group.
So how were your friends then towards you after this?
They just didn't want to talk to me.
They didn't want to talk to you?
No.
Did they try?
No.
Did you try to talk to them?
No. Just sort of ended.
Yeah.
All of them friendships really ended.
Did you have any friendships then at this point? Say 9 months, 8 months pregnant. Did you have any friends?
No.
No one you spoke to?
Nope.
Was you still working at the shop?
Yeah.
Did you ever stop working at the shop while you were pregnant? Like maternity
No,
leave?
it wasn't until I had the baby that I stopped.
Yeah. So talk me about, because I know that there's this moment in your relationship that I know of where you were pregnant and you were in Egypt.
Yeah.
Talk me through that.
So that was like, I was 8 months pregnant when I went to Egypt.
Yeah.
I remember it being really close to, even to the fact that when I got back on the flight that they were like concerned about me being pregnant.
Yeah.
Like you can't fly a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'd gone to Egypt just for like one last holiday, just before having the baby.
How were things at this point in the relationship?
All right. It was weird. It was like there was moments when it was absolutely fine, and then there was moments when it was terrible.
Yeah.
Whilst being in Egypt, it was all right because it was sort of like away from everything.
Yeah.
Yes, I did feel like I constantly felt unsafe, and going to that country didn't really help with my safety. I thought I might get sold for cameras. Yeah, we had quite a nice time, but he would make me like do stuff I didn't really want to do being pregnant, like go all the way to like the market and be around, you know, like creepy men who would like say like buy one get one free because I was pregnant, and
yeah,
it wasn't relaxing. We was always out and about, sort of getting in taxis and going to Nama Bay where all the markets and stuff were. And then we're like walking around Nama Bay and he'd spotted a pharmacy.
Yeah.
So he decided to go into the pharmacy and ask them about steroids and growth hormone.
Yeah.
And he, by the end of the holiday, he decided that, and dealt with this pharmacy, that he was going to unload his whole suitcase and fill the whole suitcase up with steroids. Literally the whole suitcase, like no clothing, like chuck all his clothes away and fill the whole suitcase up with steroids.
Wow. And you were 8 months pregnant?
And I was 8 months pregnant, yeah.
Did he talk to you about this first?
No, he was doing it with it. I had no say.
When did you find out about him doing this? Before the deal or after the deal?
After the deal.
So he'd already done the deal.
I think he like even sort of like sweet talked it that he wasn't taking that much. It was just a few.
Yeah.
But the suitcase was loaded.
Yeah.
And
how did you feel?
Scared, terrified.
How in your mind did you think this was going to play out?
I didn't actually know. I was just like numb to it.
Yeah. So what did you think was going to happen? He's got this suitcase full of
steroids. He said that the pharmacy man had rung a guy who knew a security guard at the airport, and that Nick had to find this man, make sure he got in this till, put his thing in it, and the man would then, one of the security guards would then meet in the toilet and he'd pay the security guard.
Do you know how much?
No. I was shitting it.
Yeah.
And if he went, done it.
So talk me through that morning then, or that day.
I don't remember. It's like literally.
Do you remember getting to the airport?
Yeah, I'm walking through.
And how was that?
Scary. Like all these men with guns, because that's what Egypt was like.
Yeah. And so you need to tell me. You gotta tell us. What was that like? Walking up to the gate, seeing all these men with guns.
I sort of trusted the fact that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And didn't consider that I could go to prison.
No.
Pregnant.
No.
I just went in numb with no thought on it.
Yeah.
And I remember getting past the security. I remember him going into the toilet and paying the man, and the man had such a big gun, like literally huge.
Really?
Yeah, and he paid the man, and then we'd gone with the things go through there, and then you had to go on and put them on the things, and off it went.
What, the bag?
Yeah, and literally the relief.
Obviously they're walking around with guns, and you do see police with guns at, London airports, but Egypt airport's probably a lot different to say London Heathrow. Because obviously when you go to Heathrow, you walk into the check-in desk before you go through anywhere, you give them your boarding pass and they give you the boarding pass, but they take your bag at that point, they weigh it and it goes off.
Yeah, so this is different. So you walk into the airport,
yeah,
and then your bag gets scanned in front of everyone.
Before you even got to a desk.
Yeah, your bag is getting scanned.
Yeah.
At that point, he met someone who was going to scan his bag.
Yeah.
Bag got scanned, and obviously they would have seen everything was in that bag.
Yeah.
So that person had to be the right person, scan that bag, otherwise he was fucked.
Yeah.
And then that person then met him in the toilet, and then you wheel your bag down to put it on the thing for it to go.
Yeah.
So that crucial part of the beginning bit had to go happen. Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, you're
and then
done.
Literally the wait at Gatwick for the bag to come through was terrifying, because it took fucking ages. As you can imagine, last bag. It was literally the last bag that came out of that thing.
Really?
Yeah.
And what was that like walking through customs?
Scary.
Do you remember
terrified.
walking through customs?
Yeah. And the relief after and coming out and being like, oh my god, like, thank God that is over.
Yeah.
Like, never ever in a million years want to do that ever again.
How was he through this process?
Calm as fucking cucumber.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
And I think because he was calm, I suppose it made me calm.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, well, he knows what he's doing. He looks like he's, knows what he's doing.
It's not his first rodeo, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was probably the scariest moment.
Yeah. So, Jesus Christ. So, after this, so talk me through the time between after this then and then giving birth.
So then stuff was alright, and then I got a water infection, just I think through stress and just whatever. And I ended up just going into labour like 3 weeks early.
Yeah.
So went into labour, and I was in labour for around about 3 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was sort of just in and out of, and he was quite caring at that point when I went into labour. Like, yeah, there was a part of him that I thought, oh, okay, like he's quite caring, excited about having this baby.
There's a part of, didn't he sell a car or something at this point?
Sell a car?
Yeah, didn't you have to go and buy a car or sell a car?
No, so when we was in, so he'd bought a new car, he bought a Porsche or something like that.
Yeah.
Before, like, because the baby's coming, I'll get myself a new car, a big car that baby can go in, and Cayenne, big car. But then, yeah, so he was at the hospital for like a day or so, and then decided like to go home and have a sleep.
Right.
And they needed to sleep because he needed to do stuff.
Yeah.
And it was snowing, I remember, at that time. Yeah, so he went home to sleep whilst I was in labour. And my mum was at the hospital at this point because I wanted my mum to be there, because I didn't think that he was caring enough to have a baby. Like, I felt like I just need my mum. So my mum was there, and yeah, he'd gone home to have a sleep and ended up crashing his car whilst he was out, probably doing steroids or whatever he was doing when I was in labour. Yeah. And then literally like managed to get back for when I gave birth.
What was that time frame between him arriving and you giving birth? 20
minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I just thought typical.
Yeah.
But I got to the point where it was just like what, that is just him. That is going to happen. That he needs to go home and have a sleep.
Yeah.
And that I was going to have a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think that he wouldn't get there?
Yeah, there was part of me, but I had my mum, so I sort of was in it. And even my mum went to me, like, whilst I was in labour, she was like, you don't have to put his name on the birth certificate.
Yeah. So, how was your mum towards the relationship at this point as well then? Because for her to say that must feel like she sort of doubted his ability.
Yeah, I think like by that point she doubted his ability to be there for me.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of like you don't have to. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It'll be easier if you don't put his name on the birth certificate.
Yeah. And did you put his name on the birth certificate?
Yeah, obviously.
So why did you choose not to put his name on there?
Because I loved him. But I thought I loved him.
Yeah.
And how can you do that to someone? Like, that was just it. I'm just not a horrible person.
Yeah.
It's just not very nice. It's his daughter. Like, it is.
Yeah.
And that there was no reason for me to go, how are you meant to do that when you register a child and you're still together? Fair enough if we weren't together.
Yeah.
But how am I meant to say to someone, no, like...
Yeah. Yeah, true. That's
they're having my
difficult.
name. That's a real difficult,
It's a bit difficult, especially when you're living together. So what was that like then, from giving birth, bringing your daughter home, and say like the first few weeks of childbirth after having a baby? What was that like?
It was fine. It was just, I was just so in love with the baby.
Yeah.
That I didn't even really care too much about him, but I just was so in awe of having this little human being that, like, I knew that was, like, mine, and, like, no one's ever going to take that away from me, and that there's this unconditional love between me and this child, and, yeah, just sort of, like, I suppose it was what helped me survive that, really, that I had this little human.
How was he towards you both?
Yeah, it was alright. Like, I just wanted to hold the baby. A bit like, you know, like happy at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was fine.
How was he towards you?
Yeah, it was alright. Just normal, I suppose, for a little bit of time.
Yeah. And we say normal for a little bit of time. So after it being normal, when did it then start turning again?
So when the baby was 6 weeks old, we'd gone to like mother care in Basildon, and we was like looking around mother care and getting like a little bit, because she was tiny, like she had her early, so she was a tiny baby. We didn't have the clothes for her. Yeah. So we'd gone there to get like tiny little clothes.
Yeah.
And then when we was at mother care, he got a phone call, and he went off and took the phone call and came back and was like, oh, I've got a meeting with these men that he was doing a deal with.
Yeah.
That he needs to go meet them. Like they're going to go for lunch and they're going to discuss what needs to happen for this deal. That's after that afternoon.
Yeah.
So we'd gone home and I was a bit annoyed because I was a bit like, oh, it's like Sunday and like, yeah, it was just annoying. So yeah, off he went, and he had gone to a pub with these people, and he didn't realise that my friend was a chef.
Mm.
And I'd rekindled my relationships with a couple of my friends when I had the baby.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
So they sort of came back into my life because they didn't want to miss out on the baby.
Yeah. So I guess how many came back into your life at this point? Females or males?
Most of them, actually.
Yeah.
So my whole group of friends that I'd lost, I rekindled a little relationship back with them, and I started mending that relationship because I'd had the baby and they was interested in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd managed to sort of sort that out. So he didn't realise that one of them friends was a chef.
Mm.
So he had gone to this pub and on his meeting, and he'd actually taken a girl to the pub.
Just him and her?
Yeah, just him and her.
Right, okay.
Yeah, just him and her, and my friend had seen him in the kitchen.
Yeah. Like
from the kitchen, he still hadn't seen her.
Yeah.
So she called me and she was crying on the phone and she said, he's here with a girl.
And how old was your daughter?
6 weeks old.
6 weeks old, and he's taking a girl to the pub.
Yeah. And me being me, I'm very hot-headed, you know, I rang him and I was like, you're fucking there for girl, like, what the fuck? And then, because I'd been so hot-headed about it, he had said, no, I'm not, like, and he'd left as well. So he said, no, I wasn't. I was there with my friends and I'd seen a girl that I'd known for a long time called Gemma. She was there with her family, and I stood and spoke to her at the bar, and that's what my friend had seen.
Them stood at the bar talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look back in hindsight, like, it was so far away.
Yeah.
Why would her family and friends be at that same place as him, but so far away that it's not going to happen?
Where was he?
It was in Alsett.
Right.
This
okay.
friend was from Canvey.
Yeah.
Like, it just, her and her family were all the way in Alsip going for like a pub lunch. Like, that's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, true. It's quite distant.
Yeah. So he'd gone out there with this girl thinking that he was not going to get caught.
Yeah.
And he went to the place that my friend was working.
How did your friend take this? You know, how did that sort of how was that left with your friend?
She couldn't get clear evidence either. It was like we were both confused with the situation.
Yeah.
He'd managed this story that left us both confused, because I sort of was questioning her, like, how long was he there? How long did you see him? It wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
I should have, if I was now, would have left him there.
Yeah.
And waited for a whole story.
Yeah.
And also back then, like, no one had night. People still had Blackberries.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like I could get on film.
Yeah.
Now it would have been recorded.
Yeah.
Back then it wasn't. He got away with it.
Yeah. So
again, I just believed the story.
Yeah. So how was he towards you after this? At this point, then, you know, how did it go down after that?
I just felt. I remember feeling shit about myself.
Yeah.
I think I probably lost. I stopped eating.
Yeah.
I felt like ugly and disgusting, and I just was the slimmest I'd probably ever been in my life.
Did you believe that he had seen a friend?
Yeah, no. I deep down knew that. I just deep down knew that it was
something more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of took it, but I never believed it.
Yeah. Did he ever? I guess. Because obviously you heard about this from your friend, and if your friend hadn't been there, you would have never have known of this.
Yeah.
Was he ever suspicious in his actions or his movements?
No, good.
Yeah.
Like, it was always... Yeah, it didn't ever look... If we walked around Tesco's, I'd see his eyes, like, looking at girls. Like, I just didn't trust anything he'd done.
Yeah.
Like, I remember driving in the car to Morrison's, and we drove past this girl, and I still remember everything about her, like... And he knew her as well from Canvey, and she had a cream Mini, and she drove past him, and it just didn't fit right.
Yeah.
The way she looked at him.
Yeah.
There was something odd about it. There was something snide.
Yeah. And did he say anything?
No.
Did you say anything in the car about this glare?
No.
You just left it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after this moment, then, talk me through your relationship. After this moment, so your daughter's 6 weeks old. Sorry.
Yeah.
This has happened, but how were you two together?
Oh, awful! Like, this point, like, I remember he wouldn't wake up for the baby. Like, it was just me doing absolutely everything. Like, he didn't help at all. He'd just go out and leave me all day. Like, he'd just go out and go to the gym, and he just ended up never being at home. It was like he just didn't want to be at home anymore. We then were moving house, and he even. When we was about to move, so that weekend, he went to Greece to see his mum and left me to pack the whole house up with, like, literally probably about 2 months old.
Right, so 2 months old baby.
Packed the whole house up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he left you to do that?
Yeah.
Did he ever say to help? He would help?
No.
Or?
I was getting down beds, I was putting beds up, I was making wardrobes, like, literally done nothing.
Did he ever say, oh, can you do this? Or...
No, he just wouldn't do it. So I just knew I had to do it, otherwise it just wouldn't get done.
Yeah.
It was like he orchestrated what we was doing, but no actions were put into place apart from the organising that, oh, we'd move in and, oh, can you just pack the house when I'm away?
So how many times did you move during your relationship? And how long in total were you together for?
So we was together, I'd say on and off, because in a lot of this time as well, like, he was getting angry with me, and I was going back home to live with my mum, and coming back.
Was this after pregnancy, after the birth?
Yeah, I mainly started going home when I had the baby, because it just felt unsafe with her. Like, I just didn't like it for her. Like, I felt like I needed to sort of... Yeah, at that point, it was like he wanted a weekend away, like, on his own, and it would be like, oh, go home. He'd make up this massive argument, and then I'd go back to my mum's and literally move all my stuff.
Yeah.
I'd go home and the cot would come, everything would go, and then I'd be back like the next week. That cot must have come down, I'd say, 50 times.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah. It was up and down like nobody's business.
And
it was like every bank holiday he'd have an argument with me and then send me off to my mum's.
Really?
So he'd have the whole bank holiday to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was his reasons for this, and what was the reasons for getting you back?
Anything would be an argument. Like he would just make an argument out of nothing. Can
you remember any of the arguments?
No, not really. Nothing. It was so petty that it just ended up like him just saying that he didn't want to be with me, or that I'm hard work, or that we're not meant to be together. And then once the weekend had finished, it was I want you back.
Yeah. And you'd go back.
And I'd just go back.
What was your mum thinking of this then? You rocking up?
I have no idea. I don't know. There's nothing she could do, because if I was going back, I was going back.
Yeah. And how did she feel about you going back?
Again, I think she just wanted me to leave. It was a disrupt into her life. Her whole house got turned upside down every time I came back. So me going was easier.
Did she ever make it feel... How did she make you feel coming back?
It was always not again. Do you know what I mean? It was always a problem. I always felt like I was a problem when I was there. So it was never comfortable to go back and stay. It was just,
Yeah. So she didn't make you feel welcome then?
No, so I would just
Your daughter and her granddaughter.
Yeah.
You weren't welcome at her house.
Yeah, just felt in limbo.
What was her boyfriend like?
He was the problem. He didn't want me there. It disrupted his life.
Yeah.
And then he put my mum in a hard situation because he didn't want me there.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I mainly think that I was chucked back and forth, because he would then have a wobbly and he'd be outside moaning, and I just felt like, oh my God, I'm just such a nuisance to everyone in life.
Yeah. So you'd be going back and forth. Did anything else happen during this time? And so I guess how old was your daughter during these spells?
Oh, not even 6 months old.
Yeah.
She didn't even reach 6 months old at this point.
Yeah. Did he care about her? How was he towards her?
I just done everything. I woke up for her, I fed her, nothing. He'd done nothing.
Yeah.
Very uncaring, very unloving.
How was he as a dad towards her, apart from doing the things that you were doing? So if he wasn't doing the changing or the feeding or the getting up for her in the night, how was he with her interacting?
Not very good at all.
No?
No, he really was there. It just felt like he was never there.
Yeah. And so
by the time he got home, I put to bed.
So what was your thought of where he was during the day?
I just felt like he was working.
And where would he be working, in your mind?
I don't know.
So he'd be out all day?
Yeah, just meeting people, just...
And you'd have no clue where he was?
No.
Did he ever tell you where he was going?
No, not really. I sort of got to the point where I just was so engrossed with having a baby that I just sort of...
Yeah.
Between 6 months and a year old, and he had gone out clubbing.
Yeah.
And when he was out, he must have asked for a girl's number.
Mm.
And the following day, I got a phone call in the morning from a girl that I went to school with, and she was working with this girl that he'd asked for her number at Barclays. And Kim had rung me in the morning and said, "Are you still with Nick?"
Yeah.
Because he asked for my friend's number who's sitting next to me at work.
Yeah.
So straight away I'm thinking, me, hot-headed, I've rung Nick and I said, I've got a message this morning saying, am I with you because you've asked for this girl's number when you're out at night? And he's then got a story straight off the bat. No, she must have she asked the bouncer for my number and the bouncer's given her my number. So I've then gone back to Kim and said, was this the story? And she said, no, that's not the story. So I said, I've got angry at Kim. I've got angry about the whole situation. I've sort of, and he's obviously messaged the girl. He's obviously messaging the girl at this point, and he's obviously said, "Do not give your number to Jess." And she didn't. I didn't get in any contact with this girl for a story, because he'd obviously put his placement in. Like, do you know what I mean? He'd already said to her, like, she's crazy, or do you know what I mean? There'd have been a story. So then I started getting this number messaging me. Like, and apparently it was her.
Right.
Saying, "You're just a wag wannabe, driving around in your BMW, thinking you're God's gift. I was just doing it to break you two up because you think that you're all this and that."
Right.
So I got that message, and then he messaged me and was like, she said that she messaged you, and that she was just making it up.
Yeah.
Again, believed it. It was here. He got a pro-burner phone and just messaged me on it.
Yeah. Did he ever have more than one phone?
Yeah, always.
Always. So you knew he had spare phones.
Yeah, but I never had that number. Didn't
You
need
never
it.
had that number?
No, I didn't even think to need it, really.
Yeah.
And he's only got to go and buy a SIM card, put it in that phone and
use it.
It's easy for him.
Yeah.
So again, like, yeah, it's just a situation, another bad situation that I just felt embarrassed about. It was embarrassing. Yeah. There's so much happened. It's like, I don't even have enough time now to say, like, I feel like I'm only halfway through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm literally halfway through, because there is so many incidents, like...
Well, we've got the owning of the gym.
Yeah.
We've also got the story of your friend and
the end of the relationship. Like, it's just like I said.
And we've also got the Vegas.
Yeah, there's so much more to.
This probably could roll into a second part.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good time to end.
Yeah,
here.
I feel already like, oh, like there's so much information. Like, there's so much information.
Yeah.
And we've not even got to like the saddest part.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just how it ended.
So I think what we'll do is we'll leave it here.
Yeah.
We'll cover this for next week. So sorry for those of you who are listening and waiting for this bit.
We're leaving you on a cliffhanger.
It's a long story, but it's worth it. So yeah, we're going to cut it here and we're going to do it next week. So this will be out now, and then next week you'll get the second part. So hopefully you'll come back and listen to hopefully you'll come back and listen to the second part. But
it gets better. Like, well, it doesn't get better for me, but the story gets so much more intense. Towards the end. Yeah.
So we'll put a pin in this. We'll cover it for next week. So thank you for listening so far. We hope you enjoy the show so far. If you do have any questions, pop them in the comments. Reach out to us on Instagram, Jess Mike Miller XX. Reach out to us on TikTok, Jess and Mike 4, and also our YouTube channel, Jess Mike Miller XX. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your questions, and hopefully this has done things for you. But we hope you enjoyed the show, and we shall speak to you soon. This is Jess and Mike Pillow Talk. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.